Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick Brioche French Toast candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the Candle Day collection. The notes on this read fluffy brioche toast, rich maple syrup, and a dollop of butter sprinkled with cinnamon. So I've had some time with this. I've burned this one 4 times now, and I just kind of keep going back and forth on it that I'm like, I don't know if I like this or if I don't know if I do like it. But in any case, here are my thoughts now. So yeah, what does it smell like? I would say first and foremost, what you get hit with when you burn this is a buttery, oily, almost like a burnt toast fragrance, but it's the similar like burntness that you would get from like remember pineapple pancakes had that sort of like oily like griddle fragrance to it. It very much evokes that, which I guess when you make French toast, you would get that type of fragrance. So I guess it's authentic or realistic to that. But I guess that's what I go back and forth of whether or not I enjoy how greasy and oily and burnt it smells, or whether or not I appreciate it because it is authentic. I don't know. That's obviously your call. I kind of still go back and forth on it, but you definitely get that like toasty bread component, and I like that because that's what makes it like I guess genuinely toast. And so it is similar to like the French baguette type of fragrance in the sense that you get that sort of butteriness and the crustiness in there. So I do appreciate that, but that's what you get first and foremost, and then it's like sweetened by a maple syrup. The maple syrup is pretty sweet, but I feel like the burntness of the toast does offset kind of I guess how cloying the maple syrup could be. So I feel like the maple syrup is a lot more brighter and sweeter in something like Mary Maple pancakes. I think pumpkin French toast just had a way heavier, more syrupy maple fragrance in there as well. But it's kind of comparable to the maple syrup that you get in pumpkin pecan waffles, because as you know, pumpkin pecan waffles tends to always smell burnt and grody towards the mid-range point. So it's that similar type of interaction of that maple syrup note with like that sort of burnt toast fragrance that you get as pumpkin pecan waffles. So it's kind of comparable to that. And lastly, it's spiced ever so slightly and made a little bit sweeter by that sort of like cinnamon sugar fragrance in there. And overall, the sort of cinnamon sugar and the burnt toast interaction reminds me a whole lot of the cinnamon sugared pecans fragrance, which I'm really not a fan of at all. But and that's also why I think I sometimes go back and forth on whether or not like I like this, because at times you do get a really oily like cinnamon sugared pecans type of fragrance, which I really don't like that fragrance whatsoever. That component of that candle is most certainly in here. And so I don't know. I think the oily burntness kind of like throws me off, and mixed with like that sort of like stale cinnamon sugared pecans, like oily nut note that you also get from cinnamon sugared pecans and pumpkin pecan waffles. It's all like mixed in here. But this one is just a little bit different from the others in the sense that the buttery toast French baguette quality is, I guess, what sets it apart. But in any case, it is indeed similar to pumpkin pecan waffles or the cinnamon sugared pecan. So if you like that variety of sort of like burnt cinnamon sugar sweetness, check this out. But overall, I think it does accomplish its goal of being a brioche French toast fragrance. But I think I still prefer pumpkin French toast just for how much just stronger and intense that fragrance was. And I think the maple syrup in that is also stronger, but that was an acquired fragrance too, in the sense that that also definitely had like a burnt toast in it. So I don't know. It's here, and I guess I enjoy it. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I can say about this. It does smell like a brioche French toast, but just be warned that there's definitely like a oily burnt component to it. It was actually on the second burn that it was like really turning me off. The second burn was just so rancid and oily, like a lot of their like sort of rancid or oily like those type of fragrances tend to do. But it did kind of mellow out and dissipate on the third and fourth burn. So there was that. I would say the first burn was probably the most pleasant in terms of like not getting too much of a burnt oiliness and getting more of that sweet sort of maple butter fragrance to it. But that was because my first burn was actually like really struggling to pull out, and so it wasn't burning as hot, so you weren't getting that scorched oiliness that you get when the candle becomes hotter and burns a lot more viciously. So yeah, I guess those are my exhaustive thoughts on the fragrance. So let me go into the performance. So on the footage here, I believe this is a third burn, but I have burned it one more time afterwards, and it's kind of performing exactly the same as it is here. But yeah, I would say the first burn was a total struggle with this candle. It has like the core wicks on it, and for whatever reason, the first burn, it just was like not making a even wax pool after even like 3 hours, and it was just really struggling and nubbing out like crazy. But then every other burn after that has been totally fine with like super solid flames. The wicks, I just trimmed the mushroom tops before each burn, and I'm good to go. So it kind of auto-corrected itself after the first burn. So if your first burn seems to to be a little wonky. I would just like burn it a few more times, and it seems to have auto-corrected itself. The second burn, however, though, was burning very viciously, and that was when I was getting heaps of that rancid, oily fragrance. That was really turning me off from it. But I would say it's kind of mellowed out in the third and fourth burns, but definitely the oiliness is definitely present versus the first burn when it was burning a lot slower and cooler. So just keep that in mind. As for the throw, because it is like a maple syrup sort of burnt toast fragrance on par with like pumpkin pecan waffles or mere maple pancakes, it's definitely good like a medium plus into the strong range. I would definitely say like at least like a 7 in like a smaller bedroom, and maybe like a 6 in an open concept area. I would say it's not quite as strong and intense as pumpkin pecan waffles is, just because that has that almost like sort of like sweet cream, extra like golden waffle batter component to it that makes it really strong. But you can definitely smell this by like all means, so like don't think it's like weak or anything. So I would say medium plus into the strong range. So good to go on the throw here. Overall, I don't know, mixed feelings on this, but I think I appreciate that it has like a oily, buttery toast to it, but it does kind of smell rancid at times. So I don't know. I think I'll keep a second one for a backup just because I don't know if this will come back. And it is, I guess, kind of unique in the way it smells like authentically burnt and oily, like a French toast might be. So there's that. But like, do I need to like hoard this or back this up like I did pumpkin French toast? Probably not. So the third one will probably be returned or exchanged for something else. So that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.